Okay, number 8 was challenging for a lot of people. Let me zoom in a little bit on this. Um, so in number 8, you have to draw a graph that has a lot of different properties. So let's do the easiest ones first. Uh, let's do B. B says that when x is 3, y is negative 1. So I'm going to plot that point right here. And it says 0 and 0, right? When x is 0, y is 0. It has to have a horizontal asymptote at y equals 1. So let me draw that in now so I don't forget about it later. Right? So whatever my graph does, I'm not sure what it's going to do yet. It's going to have to do something like that, or maybe over here, or maybe both. Right? So let's just keep that in mind. Okay, let's look at A. F is an even function. Even function means symmetric about the y-axis. Okay, so that means whatever I do on the right side of the graph, I have to have a mirror image on the left side of the graph. So I plotted this point over here just a second ago, so that means I need to plot its mirror image right here. Okay, so now I'm keeping with the even. When I say f has a relative minimum value when x equals negative 1, so when x equals negative 1 right here, I have to have a low point on my graph. It doesn't have to be the lowest point. It just has to be one of the low points on the graph. So, and it doesn't say how low it oh, sorry, I don't know if I covered the mic there. It doesn't say how low it has to be. It just has to be a low point. So you can pick how low you want it to be. So I'm just going to arbitrarily pick this low right here. And if I plot that one, I've got to plot its mirror image here, right? Now that could have been up here or something like that if you really wanted to be. Doesn't have to be though. Oh. Okay, so I've got a minimum value at x equals negative 1. Let's look at this one. Okay, so limit as x goes to 5 from the right of f of x is infinity. So that means as I'm approaching x from the as I'm approaching 5 from the right side of it, the y values go up to infinity. So that means as I'm coming towards 5 from the right, as I'm coming in this way, I have to go up to infinity. Okay, so let's draw a couple different versions of that. Maybe it looks like this. Maybe it looks like this, right? But remember, I have to have that asymptote at 1. So probably a good choice would be that. And remember, if I do it on the right side of the graph, I have to do it on the left side of the graph too, because it's an even function. Okay? So let's see what's left. Decreases on the interval 5 to infinity. So that means the function has to be going downwards from 5 to infinity on the x-axis, along the axis. Well, I already have that. That's right here, right? It's decreasing there from 5 all the way out to infinity. It keeps going down towards y equals 1. So, and I already have the mirror image of that. So now all we got to do is kind of connect this graph in the middle and figure out what it looks like. So I'll do this, making sure to try and keep it symmetric looking. And then there's no conditions on what happens here. So maybe I have it go up like this. And then if I do that, it has to also go up here. Maybe instead you have it go down this way, right? Either one's okay. You can pick. So in the next problem, we're trying to figure out if g is even, odd, or neither. So the way to test that is to plug in, instead of just plugging in x, we're going to plug in negative x. Let me switch back to black, and I'll do thin. So g of negative x. So if I plug in negative x, I'm going to get 4 times negative x all cubed minus 14 times negative x all over 5 minus 3 times negative x squared. So then if I work that out a little bit, I'm going to get negative 4x cubed plus 14x all over 5 minus 3, and then negative x squared is the same as x squared. So right now that doesn't look like anything, but if I factor out a negative from the top, I'm going to get this. And this is exactly the same thing as negative g of x. So since g of negative x equals negative g of x, that's an odd function. Number 10 I'm going to do in a separate video because I'm going to do it a couple different ways just to show you how you can do it.